Home sales are up week over week, and looking at the numbers, detached home sales are driving it. Find out how this will affect buyers and sellers right now on today's Monday Market Monitor. Welcome back again, friends, to your Monday Market Monitor for the week of November 14th to November 20th, 2022, where I unpack the last week's numbers from the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver. So, as you know, I make these videos weekly to keep you informed about what's happening in the Vancouver market. So if you're finding these of value, do me a huge favor and hit the thumbs up button. And of course, hit the subscribe button so that you can stay in the know when it comes to everything Vancouver real estate and what is happening with the numbers. So it's time to talk numbers. Last week, our week-over-week sales increased to 773 over the previous week's 701. This is most likely because of the long weekend that we had the previous week, so we're seeing that little bit of a bounce back. While 773 sales in 1 week may not seem like much, it is still not the lowest number weekly that we have seen over the past 20 weeks. So on to the expires or those listings that came to the end of their contract. Last week, there were 92 of them total. Now that number is perfectly in line with what we've been seeing for the last 20 weeks on average. So really nothing exciting to see here, folks. But where things got a little bit interesting last week was actually the increase in the number of price changes that happened. Last week, we were back up to 321 price changes. So there's 321 sellers that are still looking for that elusive fall home sale and are getting serious about it. So one of the most significant price haircuts was actually on a Whistler estate on Alta Lake Road. That got an $800,000 price change. A big chunk of cash. So between that and the other 320 other price changes, this could be an excellent time for buyers who are looking to negotiate some good deals. As I mentioned in the opener, sales are up week over week, which means that the last week we saw 773 successful sales, and that's up 71 sales from the previous week. Interestingly enough, the median days on market, or the DOM, actually dropped back down to 14. So this is really an indication to me that the properties that are coming to the market or are being relisted and repriced are selling in the first few days of listing. So 14 days basically gives an agent enough time to market, get an offer, and for a buyer to do their due diligence and the close. Done. So if you follow these videos, you'll know it's now time for my favorite number, which is the percentage of properties that sold at or above list price. And drumroll please, last week this number jumped back up to 21%. So it looks like the number I reported from the week previous of 16% was actually an anomaly. However, we'll keep an eye on that to see what that looks like as we move into the holiday season, because potentially it could very well drop. Now on to the percentage of properties that sold under $1 million. So this is all for entry-level product across the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver, and last week 53% of the properties were actually under $1 million. So just over half the sales. And I want to toss one more number your way just for interstate, because it has to do with entry level as well. And that is that out of the 394 successful sales last week, 76% of them were under 1.5 million. So entry level is still very strong, but I've been touting that for weeks now, and you know that if you've been listening. So if you're a seller with entry level product to sell, there is less competition out there, and the stats are actually pretty much on your side right now. Could be a good time to sell. And then for those sellers who with townhomes or condos to sell, you have an advantage, as 67% of the successful sales last week were actually attached product. Well, I'm not sure if it's for you, but if you want a more in-depth conversation about the Vancouver real estate market, how these stats will affect your fall home sale or purchase, then reach out for some expert advice. Thank you so much for tuning in to your Monday Market Monitor, and I will see you in the next video.